Hey, welcome back to Camp Coop, where we help families prioritize family. I'm Carson, and today I want to talk about what do you do when you feel like you're behind in life. I think it's super easy for dads to feel this way, especially the more responsibilities you get, right? Every kid you have, you just kind of see the price tag of everything go up and the overall family budget go up, and you start to think, hey, how am I going to afford this? Right? I have felt this way for the past 5 years, this overwhelming always thinking about money and provision, which makes sense. My oldest is 5, so it really comes with kids, and it's just progressed the more kids we've had. And now the solution is not have less kids. I think you should have more kids. I'm trying to get my wife to go for 4 more. We'll see. But it's super easy to reflect back, especially when you hit 30, man. Like you hit your 30s and it's like adult puberty, I think. Like you hit normal puberty at like 13, 14, and then you hit adult puberty at like 30 when you start to go, oh wow, what are my family values? Where am I at in life? The money I make. You think about retirement and home ownership and all these things. Maybe think about it before. Maybe you're gifted. But for me, adult puberty hit like at 28, 29, 30. And it's incredibly easy to look at people that either you went to high school with or that are just in your community, and you compare yourself and you go, man, I feel behind in life. Whether you're in your 30s or not, it's super easy to feel that way, especially based on the comparison to others. I have felt this way, immensely over the past couple of years. I started out my career in full-time ministry. So I was the associate youth pastor, creative dude, and then a version of a family pastor, and then a couple of versions of creative and youth, young adult, and suffice to say in full-time ministry really for the first 8 or 9 years of my career. And right, kind of the adage or the complaint of like working in ministry is like you don't do it to get rich. I can attest to that. And then beyond that, been working in the corporate world in a sales role, which the seduction of sales is it's uncapped earning. But if I'm going to keep it 1000% with y'all, the economy the past 4 years, let's just say Biden's president, man, it was tough. It's the first time I understood when my parents would talk about like the economy is rough right now. Like, hey, I get it. When it's my, wallet that's footing the bill on stuff, like I get the economy. So over the past couple of years, the industries I sold into were deeply affected by the economy. I was selling into mortgage and real estate, which were home prices and interest rates were huge, a main topic of discussion when it comes to the economic conversation over the past 4 years. So suffice it to say, I made no money as a youth pastor dude, and then enter in this era where it's uncapped earning for salespeople, time to cash out. I was selling in economically hard times. So for us, it has been, I'll say, a struggle. God has brought provision and God has made it work over the past 4 years of us being out of ministry. But I have felt that like, whoa, I am behind in life. We own 2 vehicles. Both of them are over 10 years old. They're all paid off. We do not own a home. We rent. I have a small retirement fund being managed by my people over at Zion Capital, the legends. We're going to get Lucas on the pod soon. And they're taking the small bit I had from an old 4K and investing it for me. And it's seeing great return right now. But again, it's nothing to write home about. And so I can look at people that I either went to high school with that are much further along career-wise than me, are making way more money and have made way more money cumulatively, or people that bought houses, whether it's they're buying homes recently right now, or maybe they bought in 2020 when it was awesome. I have a bunch of friends that did that and ended up making a ton of money. Or, we're in Nashville, and Nashville, number one, is freaking expensive to live in, but we've got the influx of Californians, right? And so you start to meet people from California who sold their whatever kind of modest home in Northern or Southern California. And then there's like, oh yeah, we just went and bought in Franklin or Williamson County. It's like, what? And that like apples to apples of their like mediocre home in California equals like a semi-luxury home here. And it's just mind boggling. You go, oh wow, I'm going to have to work really hard to get a house in Franklin, right? If you know, you know. So there's a myriad of like reasons why you could feel behind in life. And for us, I have felt that. I'll be like 1000%. I have felt behind, in my sales career. I'm, in some instances 3, 4, 5 years older than people that I'm on a team with. There was a guy on our team that was 10 years younger than me, and we effectively could be doing the same job. And it's like, oh wow, how am I at this place where I'm not further along, essentially? I don't have more money. I don't have more resources. I don't own more things. And it's a really dark place to let yourself get because it's like the trap of more, right? There's always going to be, if I only made X amount more, if we only had this much newer of a car, if we only had this much newer of a house, if we only had this, right? It's the trap of just a little bit more. And number one, that like more monster, maybe that's a better word for it. Like the more monster is never satisfied. And the more you feed it, the hungrier it gets. So the more monster is never satisfied. So thinking that like something more is going to scratch that itch and then you'll be good or you'll be happy, number one is a lie. But number two, I think you miss out on the power of the moments you're in. Right? If we want to play apples to apples, you have no clue what people value and what they've traded for what you believe in or you believe you need. Right? You don't know what they've traded for that house. Maybe it's working 80 hours a week and they never see their kids. And yeah, you don't own a house, but you get tons of time with your kids. And if it was like, hey, would you rather own the house or never see your kids? You might go, oh, that's a no-brainer. Right. And so I used to work for Dave Ramsey and Ramsey Solutions, and we would talk about, it's about money, right? It's helping people with their finances. And so for me, it became somewhat of not a stressor, but it was always on my mind. I'm always working the baby steps. How can I adjust this to shift this here to get this result? And you compare yourself to other people that you work with. But what I've learned is it's literally useless to compare yourself on a financial journey with someone because you have no clue the factors that go into their picture. Like, you just have zero clue. I made a YouTube short about this, but like, did they go to school? Did they have debt? Do they rent their house? Do they own their house? How involved are their parents? I think that's a huge one that people, at least I didn't consider. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's on their own. I know some people that their parents pay their car payment. I know some people that, their parents pay for private school for their kids, or, their parents want to bless their kids in a way that, takes up a lot of money that maybe our friends couldn't do if they didn't have that support. Now, do I want to do that for my kids? Of course. Why wouldn't you? But not everyone's going to broadcast, oh yeah, isn't this a sick, whatever house we have, my parents pay half the mortgage. Or my parents actually own the house. We kind of are paying it off to them. And then once I knew someone that did that. They had a house and that was the setup. Like the dad had bought the house cash and had financed it to them. So they were paying off the house and as if they had bought the house, but it wasn't in their name, right? So there's just a billion things that you do not see behind the scenes that had you known, you go, oh, our situations aren't similar at all. No two people have the exact same situation going on. And so to try to compare yourself and then draw some sort of worth or value or distinction of how far along you should be in your journey from where they're at, it's just pretty stupid. It'd be like, two different animals looking at each other of like, oh yeah, I should be further along on the journey than this animal with, a giraffe and a turtle. It's like one with massive legs that can take further steps per, stride, and an animal that's slower, right? With smaller legs. It's just, you would never compare those two things, just judge whether or not the one is more valuable because they're just totally different. And so what do you do when you feel like you're behind in life? I think the first thing that's incredibly simple to do is that you need to reflect on all the blessings that you have, right? Whether you're married and you have kids and they're healthy kids, or even if they're not healthy, praise God that we have them or they've come through whatever sickness or disease. Like, truly count those blessings, right? And appreciate what God's given you. I think number two, you need to make sure you're aligned on your values. This is imperative. This is more podcasts to come, but you need to make sure you are aligned on your values with your spouse. It's just, if you are not, stop the video, go talk and say, hey, can we think of what our values of a family are? Because if you know those values, they become the litmus test for what you do and don't do, especially when it comes to money. If you do not know what you guys value, you are throwing your money away. For us, we've decided that money is used for three specific things, okay? Number one, money is used for our health. We are very big into taking care of our bodies and health practices and using health practitioners. So from chiropractors, I've gone to acupuncture before, naturopaths, different practitioners that are helping our sons with their specialties. My son has seen a speech therapist. All of the supplements we use Heart and Soil. I can hit you with the code in the description box below. Heart and Soil, please sponsor Camp Coop, please. The supplements we use. When I had a gym membership before we built our gym here at the house, like tons of stuff that contribute to our health, right? That is one of our top priorities. Number two, what is money for? It's for tools. So that is going to be physical tools like drills, saws, hammers, etc. But it also extends to what are the things that help making the life we want to live easier, or bringing an idea to life. I'm super creative. I get hit with an idea and my initial reaction is like, hey, let's drop everything we're doing right now and work on that thing. My wife's like, hey, what if we don't? Right? What if instead we don't do that? But for me to have the tools at hand to go, oh, here's an idea. How do I implement that and make that quickly? And so spending our money on that is huge. So it's going to be health, tools, and then generosity, right? Beyond giving to our local church, I'm really moved by causes that help and defend children. So one organization that we've given a lot to is called the Covenant Rescue Group. It's based out of Birmingham, Alabama. It's a guy named Jared Hudson. Hopefully we're going to have him on the podcast soon, but they do amazing work. And so anything beyond that is up for discussion or debate. But the fact that my wife and I are aligned on those things of what money is used for, it helps making decisions like, hey, should we pay for our son to get a $500 test of his gut microbiome? Yes, it's not a question, right? It's in that line of that health column. And because we're aligned there, it makes spending that money easy. So I know I've got a bunch of lists going, but what to do when you feel like you're behind in life. Number one, count your blessings. Number two, make sure you are aligned on your values, because if you are aligned on those values, it helps give peace to know that, hey, we may not own a home, but our kids are getting all the health care that they need and deserve and value, right? If you didn't value that health care, maybe you could take that monthly spend, let's say it's $1,000 a month, all things considered, and you could put it towards the thing you do value. But if you are clear on those values, you can lay your head at night and rest easy to know, hey, we are doing the right thing for our family because we're spending our money on our values. And then I think the third thing you need to do is make a plan. Ramsey loves to say the best time to plant a money tree was 20 years ago. Second best time to plant a money tree is today, right? You could have made a billion mistakes. You could be in such a ditch and in a bad place, but you're not over. Right? I had a mentor that would say, hey, if you're not falling, wait, you're falling, but you're not finished. Come on, somebody. Right? It's pretty good. It's a nice kind of like preaching phrase, but it is true. Like, you may be falling, but you're not finished, right? If you're able to get up and keep moving, God's grace is sufficient for you. And so if you feel like you're behind in life, number one, count your blessings. Number two, make sure you're aligned on your values. And then number three, make a plan for where you do want to go. And if you do make that plan and you're aligned on those values and you understand that the grace you've been given, it really does make it easier to navigate into those next seasons and get that buy-in. I know I keep talking about buying a house because that's a dream we have. We just rent a home. We love the home we've been in. We've been in it for about 2 years, going on 3. And if I owned this house, it'd be great. But we don't. And the real estate market's really tough. That is a goal that we have. To get there, we're going to need to make some changes and sacrifices, right? But we want to be able to do that within the values. So if that means, hey, mom and dad aren't buying new clothes, or we're doing clothes at thrift stores, or buying all used baseball equipment, grandma and grandpa end up paying for baseball this year, praise God, we can take that money and put it towards whatever that goal is. But if you don't have a plan, you're also just not going to go anywhere. That's kind of the sad part about it. You can say, oh, I wish we were further along, but if you don't make a plan, you won't go anywhere. And if you don't know what you value, it's going to be kind of useless to make a plan, because if you're going against those values, that's also a really bad plan. And if you're just feeling like a loser and nothing good is going in your life and you haven't counted your blessings, it also doesn't, you're not going to have the motivation to make those changes. So hopefully this was encouraging as a guide to know what to do when you feel behind in life. If I missed something, drop it in a comment. If you thought this video could be helpful for somebody, would you send it to them? And we appreciate having you guys a part of Camp Coop. It's the place where we help families prioritize family. And if you can feel aligned in those values and confident in the plan and count those blessings, your family's going to be better for it. So thanks for hanging out with us. See you next time.